Have you ever really stopped to think about what's going on in your head when you decide to buy something? I mean, really think about it. It's way more than just a simple choice. Today, we're going to peel back the layers on all those hidden forces that drive your decisions, from your morning coffee to your dream vacation.
Seriously, take a second. What was the last thing you bought? Why that one? You might say it was the price, or maybe the brand. But what if I told you the real answer is a mix of things you don't even realize are influencing you? That's exactly what we're going to unpack.
For years, marketers have looked at our minds as this mysterious black box. They know what goes in, all the ads, the prices, the flashy product features, and of course, they see what comes out, us buying their stuff. But what's actually happening inside that box? Well, today, we're going to pry that thing open and take a good look around.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the big picture stuff, then zoom right into what makes you, well, you. After that, we'll dive deep into the psychology of it all. And by the end, you'll see the whole 5-step journey you take pretty much every time you buy something. Let's get into it.
Okay, so first up are these huge, powerful forces, culture and society. They're like these invisible currents you're swimming in every single day. And most of the time, you don't even notice they're there.
Let's break it down like this. Think of your main culture as the basic operating system you got when you were growing up. It installed all your core values and how you see the world. Then, subcultures are kind of like the apps you install on top of that. You know, the groups you join based on shared passions, like being a gamer, a foodie, or a die-hard movie fan.
And then, of course, there are the actual people in your life. Your family, they're probably the biggest consumer influence you'll ever have, shaping your habits from day one. Then, as you grow up, your friends, coworkers, even your favorite influencers, they all create these social norms that tell you what's cool, what's acceptable, and what's worth buying. Kind of makes you wonder how many of your personal choices are really just theirs, right?
So we've looked at the world around you. Now let's zoom in a bit closer. Let's talk about what makes you tick, because these are the factors that make your shopping list totally unique.
Your personal blueprint is this really interesting mix. I mean, a 22-year-old moving into their first apartment is going to buy completely different things than a 45-year-old saving for their kid's education. Obviously, your job and how much you make sets your budget, but it also shapes your identity. Your lifestyle, all your hobbies and interests, creates a really specific pattern of what you buy. And deep down, we often buy things that reflect the person we want to be. Let's be real, that fancy watch isn't just about telling time, is it?
Okay, we've looked at the outside world and the basic facts about you. Now it's time to go deep inside that black box. We're talking about the psychological engine that really drives everything.
It all kicks off with motivation. See, we all have needs: food, safety, a sense of belonging. But a simple need doesn't become a motive until that feeling gets strong enough to make you actually do something. It's the difference between thinking, I'm a little hungry, and I need to get pizza right now. That's the switch from need to motive.
And you've probably seen this pyramid before, right? Maslow's hierarchy. The idea is pretty simple. You have to take care of the bottom-level stuff first. You're not going to be worried about a luxury car if you don't know where your next meal is coming from. And marketers are absolute masters at targeting these levels. A car commercial might be selling you safety, while a perfume ad is selling you social belonging or a boost to your self-esteem. But just having a need isn't the whole story. Your perception is the filter, the lens through which you see everything. It's why two people can watch the exact same commercial and have totally opposite reactions. Each of you selects, organizes, and interprets that information differently, all based on your own past experiences. A company can pour millions of dollars into creating what they believe is the world's most perfect pizza. But if your experience, your perception, is that the crust tastes like cardboard, then for you, that's the absolute truth. In the end, your perception is always more powerful than their marketing.
So, every single time you interact with a brand, you're learning something. A great experience builds a positive belief. A bad one, like our cardboard pizza over there, builds a negative one. And over time, these beliefs and attitudes become these little mental shortcuts that guide your future decisions, often without you even thinking twice about it.
All right, so we've got the external forces, our personal blueprint, and that psychological engine. Now let's put it all together and see how it works on the assembly line in the 5-step journey that leads to an actual purchase.
Believe it or not, whether you're buying a house or just a pack of gum, you go through these 5 stages. First, you recognize you have a need. Then you look for information. You evaluate your options, you make a decision, and then you experience what happens after you buy it.
Now, this third step, evaluating your alternatives, this is often the make or break moment. This is where you're making a mental pros and cons list. If you're buying a new phone, for example, are you weighing camera quality against battery life or price against brand name? All your unique motivations and personal factors decide what's most important on that list.
So you've weighed the options, you've made up your mind. But even now, it's not quite a done deal. A skeptical look from your friend or seeing that dreaded, sold-out sign online can still totally derail the entire process right at the finish line.
And finally, we get to what is arguably the most important step of all. What happens after you've paid? Are you happy with your purchase, or are you disappointed? That feeling is everything. A satisfied customer, they come back. An unhappy one? Well, they're the ones who go online and write reviews about cardboard crusts, which feeds right back into the information search stage for the next person. See? It's a complete circle.
So, after taking apart this whole complex machine, from culture all the way down to your subconscious, we get to the biggest question of all. With all these different forces pulling at you, how much control do you actually have?
So yeah, it's pretty clear your buying decisions don't just happen in a vacuum. They're this wild mix of cultural programming, social pressure, your own personal history, and all sorts of psychological triggers. That black box we talked about? It's a very crowded place.
But here's the real takeaway, and it's super important. Just understanding how this machine works is the first step to getting in the driver's seat. You're not just a puppet on a string anymore. When you can see why an advertisement is trying to make you feel a certain way, you can see the strings. And you get to decide for yourself whether or not you want to dance. Look, the goal here isn't to stop buying things. It's to start buying with your eyes wide open. You've now had a peek inside the black box. You know the rules of the game. So the only question left is, now that you know how the strings are being pulled, what are you going to choose differently?